10 मिनट का गैप. Hello everyone, I'm Dr. Sapna Dadwal. I'm working as a professor in the Department of Management at St. Andrews Institute of Technology and Management. This is lecture 3 of Fundamental of Management. This is the topic which is taught in ETC 6th semester. The topic I'm going to cover in this lecture are capital structure. I'm going to discuss definition of capital structure, then significance of capital structure, planning of capital structure, features of appropriate capital structure, then components of capital structure. So these are the topics I'm going to discuss here. Now I'm starting with the definition of capital structure. Capital structure refers to an arrangement of the different components of business funds, that is shareholders funds and borrowed funds, in a proper proportion. A business organization utilizes the funds for meeting the everyday expenses and also for budgeting high-end future projects. So it is very clear from this what the capital structure is. Capital structure is a composition of shareholders funds and borrowed funds. So it is a composition of both the funds or ratio of both the funds. Now the component of capital structure. The capital structure of a company is nothing but taking decisions related to the acquisition of funds from various sources and composition of debt and equity. Following are the multiple sources of funds which the company takes into consideration while determining its capital structure. So generally there are two types of components: shareholders funds and borrowed funds. Shareholder funds further divided into equity capital, preference capital and retained earning, whereas borrowed funds are further categorized into debentures, term loans and public deposit. So I'm starting with first, that is shareholders funds. The owners funds refers to generating capital by issuing new shares or utilizing the retained earnings to meet up the company's financial requirement. However, it is an expensive means of acquiring fund. The three sources of capital acquisition through shareholder funds are as follows. First is equity capital. The new shares are issued to the equity shareholders who enjoy the ownership of the company, are liable to get dividend in proportion to the profit earned by the company. They are also exposed to the risk of loss associated with the organization. Second is preference capital. The preference shareholder enjoys a fixed rate of dividend along with preferential right of receiving the return on capital in case of company's liquidation over the equity shareholders. However, they have limited right of votings and control over the company. Third is retained earning. The company sometimes utilize the funds available with it as retained earnings accumulated by company by keeping aside some part of the profit for the business growth and expansion. So very clear, retained earnings are the savings of the company, whereas preference capital, preference shareholders enjoy a fixed rate of dividends over the equity shareholders, but preference shareholders, they have very limited right of voting and control of the company, whereas equity shareholders, they are also called as owners of the organization because they have the voting right and they are liable to get dividend in proportion to the profit earned by the company, but they are exposed to risk of loss also. If the company hasn't earned any loss, then they will not get anything. Then comes second category of component of capital structure, that is borrowed fund. The capital which is acquired in the form of loans from the external sources is known as borrowed funds. These are external liabilities of the firm which leads to the payment of interest at a fixed rate. However, there is a tax deduction on such borrowing. It creates a burden on the company. Following are the various types of borrowed funds. First is debentures. It is a debt instrument which the company and the government issue to the public. Though the rate of interest is quite high on the debentures, they are not by any collateral or security. Then is term loans. The fund acquired by the company from the bank at a floating or a fixed rate of interest is known as term loans. This is an appropriate sources of fund for the companies which have good and strong financial position. Then comes public deposit. The management invite public through advertisement. It facilitate meeting up the medium or the long-term financial needs of the company such as working capital requirement and enjoy fixed rate of interest on it. So we already discussed component of working, a component of capital structure. Now factors, the next topic is factors determining capital structure. The business is affected by its internal and external environment. There are multiple related factors which affect capital structure decisions. The first is legal requirement. The statutory provisions related to particular source of funds plays a vital role in framing the capital structure of the company. Second is risk and variation of earnings. The management must keep in mind the possibility of generating a low income to meet up the debt of the company while planning the capital structure. Then is money market conditions. The company consider the conditions of the stock market while issuing new shares to acquire capital, since it will be fruitful only in a bullish market. Then comes tax rate. Tax rate also influence the capital structure decision. As we know, the tax deduction is allowed on interest on debts. Therefore, if the high tax rate prevails, the company should go for the debt funds and vice versa. Then comes government policies. The lending policies of banks and other financial institutions. The government's fiscal and monetary policies and SEBI regulations determine the borrowing of the company. Then come sales stability. If the company has consistent sales revenue which is quite high, it will be able to pay off the fixed interest on debentures and other loans. Companies with unstable sales should opt for equity capital. So these are the factors which affect the capital structure, like legal requirement, then risk in variations of earning, money market conditions, tax rate given by the government or tax rebates, then government policies, then sales stability of the firm. So these are the factors which affects the capital structure of the organization. Now importance of next topic is importance of capital structure. First is return maximization. A well-designed capital structure provides a scope of increasing the earning per share, which ultimately maximizes the return for equity shareholders and recover the cost of borrowings. Second one is flexibility. It also facilitates the expansion or contraction of the debt capital to suit the business strategies and conditions. Then is solvency. A sound capital structure helps to maintain liquidity in the firm because an unplanned debt capital leads to the burden of interest payments, ultimately reducing the cash in hands. Next one is increases firm's value. Investors prefer to put in their money in the company which has a sound capital structure, thus leading to rise in the market value of the firm's shares and securities. Then reduced financial risk. Balancing the proportion of debt and equity in the business through capital structure assists the business firms in managing and minimizing the risk. Then minimizes cost of capital. It provides for planning the long-term debt capital of the company. It provides for planning the long-term debt capital of the organization strategically and thus reduce the cost of capital. So a balance between borrowed balance between both the component actually minimize the cost of capital. Then tax planning tool. For companies opting for debt funds, the capital structure provides them with benefit tax deduction and savings, decreasing the cost of borrowing. Then optimum utilization of funds. A well-planned, strategically designed and systematically arranged capital structure assists the companies in generating maximum output from the available funds. So these are the importances of the capital structure. A good capital structure actually maximize the return on the capital. Then a good capital structure actually it is flexible in nature, and it facilitates expansion and contraction of debt to capital to suit business strategies. Then a good and sound capital structure increases the firm's value, it reduces the financial risk, it minimizes the cost of capital, and it also helps in tax planning, because a good capital structure will always help the organization in reducing tax and increasing saving of the company. And it is also help in optimizing utilization of funds in the organization. Now, planning the capital structure. Capital structure planning is very important to survive the business in the long run. After even watching a balance sheet of the company, one can see the two sides of the balance sheet. One side is the liabilities and other side is asset side. Liability side is a mixture of finance of the company, which company has collected from internal and external sources, and it has been used or will be used for the development of the organization. The organization has to initially analyze its financial requirement on the short, medium, and long-term basis. Taking the various factors into consideration, the management must plan an appropriate composition of debt and equity. Second is recapitalization of the company. To optimize business operations, the company must improvise its capital structure from time to time. In other words, it has to redesign the proportion of debt and equity with changing needs and business requirement. Then, the first and foremost means of recapitalization is the issuing of debt, repurchasing of equity. It is a suitable option for companies which prefer to reserve the ownership right and control with themselves only. They plan to increase their debt by reducing equity. The second option is similar to the first one. Company plans to issue debt and utilize these funds to pay off one-time dividend to the equity shareholders. This ultimately reduces the value of equity shares for future investors. The third way is unstable companies which have high debt liability. They prefer to repay their debt with the help of funds acquired through issuing of new shares. So by this way, organization can plan their capital structure. Now optimum capital structure. Optimum capital structure refers to the relationship of debt and equity structure which maximize the value of company share on the stock exchange. The composite cost of capital is the least at optimum capital structure. So we can say, in other words, optimum capital structure is a combination of debt and equity that leads to maximum value of the firm. Or optimum capital structure maximize the value of the company, hence wealth of its owners, and minimize the company's cost of capital. Now, features of optimum capital structure. The first is optimum capital structure should maximize the earning per equity share. It should minimize the cost of financing. The risk must be managed and it should not lead the company to insolvency. It should be flexible and the composition of funds can be changed according to the requirement. It should help the company to generate cash flow in future. The company must be able to exercise control on its affairs. This is all for today. For the lecture 3, these are the questions which are related to the above topic discussed in this lecture number 3 of Unit 1 from Unit 1. So if any query is there, any confusion is there related to any topics till now we have discussed, you can always contact me. Thank you. Thank you so much.